Hello and welcome to another exciting episode of the Full Spectrum D&D podcast. My name is Trey.
I am Rungren.
We got some cool stuff to talk about tonight, but first, real quick, if you're on Twitch, you might have noticed there's a bunch of new options for your channel points to be spent on. Some of those are Tuesday exclusive, which I need to add to the wording of them. So if you spend your channel points to change my name, it'll change nothing until next Tuesday's podcast. So please keep that in mind. Yeah, announcement-wise that, and there's thunder outside, so we may get a storm if we drop. That's why. Sorry.
Yes.
Yeah. Rungren, something cool happened this week.
Well, are you talking about today? What we got today?
Yeah.
Yeah. Now I think we talked a while back. I don't remember which podcast it was about Wizards getting D&D Beyond.
Yes.
Right. That's a whole thing now. But
Quack didn't play on stream. Oh no.
Oh no.
I know why too. It's because I didn't add it to the stream overlay here.
Well.
But
all right.
Don't spend your points this stream.
Yeah, don't spend your points.
I'll fix it next week.
She quacked nothing. Can't have that. Yeah, we'll get that fixed next week. Yeah, so Wizards by D&D Beyond. But since we started this, one of the things we've brought up more than once is you can play D&D for free.
That's right.
And through D&D Beyond. And I think it's worthwhile sign up.
Yeah.
But there's been a lot of talk today about something called 1D&D.
Yes.
And it's not a new version. Well, they say it's not a new version. Everything that we're putting out will be compatible with 5e as we know it.
Just tell you to drink.
But one thing they put out today, if you're signed up with D&D Beyond, is they put their Unearthed Arcana 2022. And this is some of those things that they're talking about putting into the new, I don't want to say new edition,
right?
Because that's not what it is,
away from.
right? But into this new material that they're bringing out.
Yeah.
Not going to go too deep into it tonight, but it's definitely worth if you're playing it because you can use this. All these rules in here you can use now,
right?
If you download it, print it off, or have the PDF. They're offering that, and it's free.
We both gave this a cursory glance over today.
Yeah.
We're both kind of impressed with it.
Yeah.
Oh no, not your tea. I think for sure this is the right way for it to move, for D&D to move. I think that moving away from edition style into, hey, everything that's already come out, you can still keep using.
Yeah.
We're just going to tweak some things to make it play better. I think it's the right choice.
Yeah.
I like this stuff. I think it's good.
I do too, and it's not kind of what I was predicting.
Yeah.
I didn't expect this to come out so early, but it's not quite what I was predicting. But there is some of the ballpark, and we may go into that deeper next week, so we can really take a good look at it. Maybe at least catch some highlights for y'all.
Yeah.
But if you're on D&D Beyond, go download it and go claim it.
Well, and it's also like this is still Unearthed Arcana, right? It is still playtest material.
Right.
But it's different playtest material than what we have been getting for Unearthed Arcana. Because you and I were talking about this beforehand. This is not written by just a DM somewhere.
Right.
This is not, hey, here's a subclass that was a cool idea that somebody came up with.
Yeah.
And Unearthed Arcana has grabbed it where you could try it, like the Wild Magic Barbarian, right? That eventually became full content. This is written by Jeremy Crawford, Christopher Perkins, and Ray Winninger.
Yeah, there's a good chance a lot of these are going to be in the rule. Now you can't if you're arena player, you can't use these.
Right.
You can't use them in arena yet. But if it's just you and some folks I think these are worth picking up and implementing into a game.
Yeah, I agree, 100%. Also, I know we're not digging deep into it right now, but level 1 feats because of your background?
Yeah,
that's a sick idea. Yeah. I love that.
Yeah, that's one of the highlights I think you'll notice from it. You're going to be able to get your character build done a little bit lower level than it has been. There's a lot of stuff that's going to come out from it.
Yeah,
I don't know if it's all 100% gold, but that's one of the reasons we're going to look at it and need to play with it.
So read over it as well if you are interested. And when we cover it again, we'll for sure get into the deep parts of it. But go download it because why not?
Yeah.
It's free, and there's some really cool stuff in here you could use today.
And if you have some ideas for D&D or have some strong feelings about some of these rules, they're opening up a forum, I guess.
Yeah.
on September 1st.
I believe it's first.
Okay, reverse. So they'll have you can put in your ideas there.
Yeah, and hopefully that feedback is really combed through and winds up being really nice because I'm pretty stoked with what we got so far. And I have some feedback already, but I want to go back over it all and give it a deep dive before I submit my feedback.
Right.
So,
and we've still got some mosses to talk about.
Yes. So now that we've got done talking about one D&D, let's talk about one Giant Strider. These are some G monsters, right?
Yeah.
We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 G monsters.
All right.
And some of them have some derivatives, some things to talk about in there. But the Giant Strider is the first one, and I love this thing. This is a elemental riding a giant raptor. And if you don't understand why I love that, you don't know me yet. We do have a little thing for Mordenkainen here. It says, out of curiosity, I once tamed a giant strider. Several potions of fire resistance later, the creature was purring in my lap, and I didn't feel a thing.
Okay.
So this is a elemental creature. It's a large elemental. It is both bird and reptile, while also, of course, having a huge affinity to fire. Now, it is just the mount. If you want to run a good stat sheet, you need to take the fire elemental Myrmidon from before in the Fs and put it on the back to be able to use both together.
Oh, it makes sense.
Because the mount is its own creature. But the mount has an AC of 14.
Okay.
Speed of 50 feet.
Wow.
22 hit points. And it's CR 1.
Okay.
It's immune to fire. Not immune to poison. And has a passive of 11 for perception. It does have fire absorption, so whenever it's subjected to fire damage, it takes no damage and regains hit points equal to half the fire damage dealt.
Okay.
Which is very strong. It has a bite, which is a +6 to hit. Reach 5 foot, single target, 1d8 plus 4 piercing.
I knew this question was coming.
Can I have one?
Yes.
Right. But the cool thing that it has is a recharge ability called Fire Burst.
Okay.
It hurls a gout of flame at a point, literally hurls, upchucks, a gout of flame at a point it can see within 60 feet of it. Each creature in a 10-foot radius sphere centered on the point must make a DC 12 dex save, taking 4d6 fire damage on a failed save, half as much on a success. The fire spreads around corners, and it ignites flammable objects in the area that aren't being worn or carried.
That's kind of cool.
That's pretty stout for a little mount.
Yeah, I think they'd make very interesting pets.
I say
sure
little,
they would.
It's large. And then Tasha has a little blurb here.
Oh, that's special.
Says, we might have discovered the key to unlock Mordenkainen's frigid heart. Magical pets. Really?
Yeah.
Isn't that the key to all of our hearts?
Yes, right. You can kill my player. Do not kill my pet.
That's right. From there, we go on to the Giff.
Okay.
And we have, of course, a little blurb from Mordenkainen here that says, my travels in wild space are always brightened by my Giff associates. Their use of gunpowder reminds me of my own explosive wizardry. Spectacular. Pretty sure animal handling sucks. That's fair. Giff, for anybody who doesn't know, are hippo people that are humanoids, which, because of what we talked about earlier, that's important.
Yeah.
Humanoids that are hippo people that use guns and wear fabulous uniforms. These are a militaristic people that sail the stars. Among the different ports of wild space, Giff are most often encountered as spacefaring mercenaries. Their troops are renowned for their martial training and love of explosives, and are typically armed with gleaming pistols and muskets.
Yes.
The stat block here is one of those mercenaries, for instance. It is not just a default Giff. Though, honestly, there's not a lot of difference in my mind between this and a default Giff.
Yeah.
But your Giff could be anything. Giff ships and mercenary companies will carry spare gunpowder in kegs.
Yeah.
And in times of emergency, a Giff will fully light a keg and throw it at someone up to 15 feet as part of the same action. Which, if they do that, it's a DC 12 dex saving throw. And on failed save, they take 76 fire damage or knock prone. So, keep that in mind.
That's pretty good.
Now, these are CR3. They have 16 AC, 60 hit points, and 30 speed. They have firearms knowledge. The Gift mastery of weapons enables it to ignore the loading property of muskets and pistols. Very good for that.
Yeah.
And they have a head first charge. The Gift's mastery of... the Gift can try and knock a creature over. If the Gift moves at least 20 feet in a straight line and ends within 5 feet of a larger, smaller creature, a creature must succeed on a DC 14 strength saving throw or take 2d6 bludgeoning damage and be knocked prone.
Okay.
Just a nice little charge there.
Yeah, and I've got such a picture in my head of the Giff. About that, of just the merchant ship, the big hats, the medals.
That's right.
The whole military pomp and circumstance.
That's right. Action-wise, this is a pretty cool stat block for action.
All right.
This is a fun monster to run. It has multi-attack, and it can take 2 longsword, musket, or pistol attacks. Longsword's a +6 to hit, reach 5 foot, single target, 1d8 plus 4 slashing, or 1d10 plus 4 slashing if used with both hands.
Yeah.
The musket, obviously ranged attack, +4 to hit, range 40, 120, single target, 1d12 plus 2 piercing.
Okay.
Which is very nice.
That is nice.
Then the pistol is +4 to hit, range 30, 90, single target, 1d10 plus 2 piercing. So pretty solid there.
Yeah.
But they also have a fragmentation grenade they can throw once per day.
Wow.
The Gift throws a grenade up to 60 feet, and the grenade explodes in a 20-foot radius sphere, just like the keg of gunpowder, and does 5d6 piercing damage if the target doesn't make a DC 15 dex save, in which case then it does half.
Wow.
So pretty solid.
Yes. Yes, they are.
I like the idea of a Giff
I
just
do.
throwing a grenade.
Pistol on one hand, with one hand, grenade in the other.
Boom.
Well, grab your long sword, sir.
Yeah, Gifts are cool. I
They
like
are.
that we have a stat block for them.
Well, also this just makes me more excited about Spelljammer.
Yeah, I agree. Poor Inuyasha. Next up, we have the Geralin, or the
Okay.
Geralin, depending on how you want to say it. It's an oversized 4-arm ape
Yeah.
with vicious fangs and claws. They're most common in temperate or warm forest environments, abundant with life. They share the ape's adeptness at climbing, although very few trees can support their weight because they're half-ton in weight.
Yeah, I'm not gonna mess with a gorilla with 2 arms. There is no way I'm stepping up to a gorilla with 4.
Yep. This thing is exactly what you think it is in that way. They do have a little thing here that says numerous creatures have tried to tame, subjugate, or cooperate with these monsters. Some forest-dwelling peoples capture Geralons and train them to serve as sentinels.
Oh.
Recognizing that Geralons are peaceful among their own kind, other folk have learned how to approach a group's leader, offering food and other gifts in hopes of establishing an alliance with the creature. If they're well-trained, they can serve as guards, though they lack the intelligence to take on tasks more complicated than attacking strangers who enter the domain. If they're captured when they're young, they can be carefully trained and can wind up like guarding a city's thieves guild. But you must also be careful because at any time it could revert to its predatory nature
Yeah. Okay.
because it's still a gorilla.
Yes.
And I'm sorry, but we do not have a gorilla for sale today. There's going to be somebody out there that just now hears the song in their mind. We got a gorillas for them. We'll give them gorilla for sale. For sale.
There you go.
So, CR4
Okay.
for these things.
Please stop.
You're just typing that? 13 AC, 59 HP, speed of 40, and climbing speed of 40. Very fast. 4 arms, though. It makes sense.
Yeah.
They have dark vision to 60 feet and a passive perception of 15. It's pretty high for a CR4 monster.
Yeah. But it needs to be.
Yeah. Then, of course, they have multi-attack, 1 bite attack, and 4 claw attacks.
Yeah.
Every turn. The
We'll
bite.
rip you apart.
Yeah. The bite is a +6 to hit, single target, reach 5 foot, 1d6 plus 4 piercing.
Okay.
The claws are +6 to hit, reach 10 feet, single target,
God.
1d6 plus 4 slashing. It's a lot of damage it can throw out in a
Yeah.
turn.
Yeah, it is.
And then it has, as a bonus action, aggressive. It can move up to its speed towards a hostile creature that it can see.
Oh, wow.
So it will get to you, and it will hurt you.
Yeah.
But that's the
As
Geralin.
a DM running that, I think if you don't spread the attacks out that it's doing, you might just take somebody out in a round or two.
Yep. Next up, we have the Githyanki.
Yeah, more Spelljammer stuff.
Yep. So these belong on the astral plane, right? That's where they come from originally. Some of them have stayed there. Some of them have not.
Some have been forcibly removed.
Right. And that comes up a little bit more in the Githzerai in the book.
Yeah.
Because they were the progenitors of the Githzerai, the Githyanki, and those are the ones who were taken. However, Githyanki have also been, since then, taken. And mostly are pirates now.
Yeah.
Which, you know, they're cool. I like Githyanki a lot. For anybody who's never seen one, you should absolutely Google it because Githyanki and Githzerai, I think, looks super sick.
True. And the story between them and the Mind Flayers, even if you just have a basic overview,
Yeah.
there's a lot to run there.
Oh,
Good
yeah.
stuff.
Now we have 3 stat blocks for Githyanki, which are the
Okay.
Githyanki Gish, the Githyanki Kith'rak, and the Githyanki Supreme Commander.
Okay.
The Gish is a dangerous mix of psionic, magic, and swordplay. And so it's a CR10 creature. It has 17 AC, 130 hit points, and 30 foot speed.
Okay. Well, at least it's not fast.
Right. Passive perception is 16. Pretty solid.
Yeah.
It has multi-attack, so it makes 3 longsword or telekinetic bolt attacks, or it makes one of those attacks and uses spellcasting, which makes it one of the few creatures that can use its multi-attack to spellcast,
Yeah.
which I think is really cool. That makes it unique. The longsword is +7 to hit, reach 5 foot, single target, 1d8 plus 3 slashing, or 1d10 plus 3 slashing, 2 hands,
Okay.
plus 5d8 psychic.
Oh, dang. Okay.
Just bam.
Yeah.
Uh,
Have that, sir.
yeah, and it can do that 3 times a turn. Don't forget.
Oof.
Then it has Telekinetic Bolt, which is a ranged spell attack, +7 to hit, range 120, single target, 8d6 force damage.
That's pretty rough.
But at CR10, you can probably take a couple of those, hopefully.
Yeah.
Unless you're a wizard. Spellcasting, it has Psionics, uses 15 for the spell save DC, and uses Int as the mod. At will, Light, Mage Hand, and the Mage Hand is invisible.
Okay.
And Message.
Fair.
Thrice a day eat. Wow, I butchered that sentence. Retake. Thrice a day each. Fireball, invisibility, and non-detection for itself only. And once a day each. Dimension door, plane shift, and telekinesis.
There's a lot of. I mean, yeah, those could be good in battle, but there's a lot of intrigue roleplay there with
There is.
they set up.
It
Hey,
also,
Dark, what's going on?
Hey, Dark. It also has a bonus action called Astral Step,
Okay.
which recharges on a 4 to 6. The Githyanki teleports along with any equipment it's carrying or wearing up to 30 feet to an unoccupied space it can see. Just
Fair.
free psionic teleport.
Yeah.
Here we go. That's pretty solid.
Yeah, it can save some movement.
Mm-hmm.
It's got. I don't know. I can definitely see 2 ways to go with that one, but there's a couple more.
Yeah. So that's the Gish. Dimension door, the door that requires a willing target. Let me double check. Dimension door.
What's a gate?
1 willing creature. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Next up is the Githyanki Kit Rock, which is like the ranked leader, right?
Okay.
So groups of 10 warriors will follow a Kith'rak into battle. Or I should specify, sorry. It's names, man.
He's a centurion.
He is, pretty much. The
Okay.
Kith'rak is over the Sarths, which are over 10 warriors.
Okay.
So, 10
Okay.
Sarths follow a Kith'rak.
Gesundheit.
And yeah, that's if you understand why I was struggling now. So the Kith'rak is a CR12 creature. With half the body. Oh, yeah. I mean, that'd be really strong. AC's 18. Hit points are 180. Speed's 30. It has a passive perception of 16, which is pretty good. Multi-attack for 3 greatsword attacks. And again, this is a boss monster, right? Until you get to like the big one. And then
Yeah.
this is but 3 great swords, plus 8 to hit, reach 5 foot, single target, 2d6 plus 4 slashing, plus 5d6 psychic. Bam.
Yeah.
And then it has psionics. It can cast with int as the mod, spell save 15, mage hand, and the mage hand is invisible. Again, telekinesis, right? 3 a day each, blur and non-detection. Blur's very good.
Yeah.
And 1 a day each, plane shift and telekinesis. And you may say, well, this seems worse than the Gish.
Gesundheit.
Thank you. Well, it has some special features to it, though. Astral Step, again, same way as before.
Yeah.
But then it can also rally the troops. The Githyanki magically ends the charmed and frightened condition on itself and each creature of its choice that it can see within 30 feet of it.
Okay.
That's pretty solid.
Yeah.
And then it has a reaction,
Okay.
which is Parry. It can add up to 4 to its AC against one melee attack that would hit it. It must see the attacker and be wielding a melee weapon.
Yeah. So not bad.
Makes its AC 22 when it burns that reaction.
Yeah.
But only gets one of those a turn. And then finally, we have the Githyanki Supreme Commander. These command 10 Kith'raks.
Okay.
This is a CR 14 creature. 18 AC, 187 hit points, speed of 30 feet. Also, thank you so much for naming it Supreme Commander instead of something else. Because about the time that we have Githyanki, Sarth, Kith'rak, and then whatever the next name would have been, I don't know what would have happened to me. The passive perception's 18 now, and it has legendary resistances. So this is probably going to wind up being like a high-end boss monster for you. Because again, it's only CR 14, but legendary resistances makes it really solid.
Yes.
It has multi-attack with 2 silver greatsword attacks. So silver, very solid. Plus 12 to hit, reach 5 foot, single target, 2d6 plus 7 slashing damage, plus 5d6 psychic damage, and I know you love your conditional damage. On a crit, against a target in an astral body, as with the astral projection spell, it can cut the silvery cord that tethers the target to its material body instead of dealing damage, which kills them.
Yeah.
Very good. Very strong.
Oh.
Ouch. That's the DM going,
Yeah.
so your character's dead. Time to roll a new character.
No. That meat sack now hits the floor.
Yeah.
It's got nothing pushing it, driving it.
Your soul is now loose in the astral sea.
Yeah.
You have this many days to go try and find it.
Yeah.
It has psionics, of course, int, and the spell save DC's 16. Mage hand, at will, hand if invisible. Thrice a day each, levitate on self only and non-detection on self only. Get ready. Once a day each, Bigby's hand.
Oh, okay.
Mass suggestion.
Okay.
Plane shift and telekinesis.
That's pretty stout.
It still has the astral step.
Yeah.
It has a better version of Parry that adds 5 to its AC, making its AC 23.
Okay.
And then for legendary actions, it can command ally. Target one ally it can see within 30 feet of it. If the target can see or hear the Githyanki, the target can make 1 melee attack using its reaction if available, and has advantage on the attack roll. And then burning 2 actions can make 1 silver greatsword attack on top of the other 2.
Yeah. So what I kind of like I like the whole setup there because you've basically got like military units lined out, and you can get bigger each time if you need to.
Yeah, it's a pretty cool set of creatures.
Yeah, it is.
Then we have the Githzerai.
Yes.
Which are, of course, we were Githyanki, and then we were captured by Illithids, and now we've been turned into something less, but also more. That's the way they look at it. They normally stay around Limbo, the fortress that floats around in the chaos of Limbo. Instead of imposing their will on other people, like the Githyanki, they focus mostly on controlling and manipulating their already destroyed home.
Right.
So with this, we have 2 different blocks here. We have a stat block for a Githzerai Anarch, which are sages or mystics. Hi, Will.
Hey,
just a reminder, too, to everybody, the reactions, burning your points, does not work on this stream yet. We'll get that fixed before next week, so maybe save your points. Although you can still tell us to hydrate. So this is a mystic or a sage. Challenge rating 16.
Oh, wow.
And its armor class is 20 because it uses psychic defense.
Okay.
Its hit points are 144.
Okay.
And its speed is 30 with a fly of 40 hover. This is a boss monster. 3 legendary resistances.
Yep.
And then psychic defense, of course, while it's wearing no armor and wielding no shields. Its AC includes its wisdom modifier, which is wisdom modifier is a +5. It has multi-attack for 3 unarmed strikes. But you say, hey, what unarmed strikes? That's not going to do a lot of damage.
Well,
Plus 10 to hit, reach 5 foot, single target, 1d8 plus 5 bludgeoning, plus 4d8 psychic.
yeah, that can add up quick.
Yep. And then it has spellcasting. Wisdom is the spellcasting mod, and spell save DC is 18. At will is a mage hand, and the mage hand's invisible. 3 times a day each, see invisibility and telekinesis. And for everybody who's like, well, that doesn't seem too bad. Telekinesis is a 5th level spell. You get to use it 3 times a day for free. That's pretty dang good.
Yeah.
Then once a day each, need to get back to 6k points, I understand. Once a day each, Globe of Invulnerability, Plane Shift, and Wall of Force.
That can change a battle.
Yeah.
Wall of Force is very powerful.
Mm-hmm. We're getting an ad break on our end, so I expect you will probably be in the ad break soon.
Yes.
Very, very good spell list. Then legendary actions means that it can spend 1 for an unarmed strike, just for free. Another one to teleport, which is just another version of the teleport the other ones have, the Githyanki. And then if it burns all 3, it can use change gravity,
Oh.
where it casts reverse gravity using wisdom as the spellcasting mod. It has the normal effect, except the Gith'rak can orient the area in any direction, and creatures and objects fall towards the end of the area.
That could be fun.
Yeah.
That could be a lot of fun.
It also has lair actions.
Well, of course it does. CR16?
Yep.
Man, it's got a lot of stuff for... I mean, it's going to have to be tough around there.
Right.
You know, but it's got legendary resistances on top of this.
Yeah. So lair actions, create object. It casts the creation spell as a 9th level spell
Okay.
using the unformed substance of limbo instead of shadow material. If used in limbo, the object remains until the anarch's concentration is broken, regardless of its composition. If the anarch moves more than 120 feet from the object, his concentration breaks.
Okay.
It can move object, magically move an object it can see within 100 feet of it by making a wisdom check with advantage. The DC depends on the object size. DC 5 for tiny, 10 for small, 15 for medium, 20 for large, 25 for huge or larger. So you can just theoretically move a wall.
Yeah.
Psionic Bolt. The Anarch casts the Lightning Bolt spell at 5th level, but the Anarch can change the damage type from lightning to cold, fire, psychic, radiant, or thunder.
Oh, dang.
If the spell deals damage other than fire or lightning, it doesn't ignite flammable objects. So
Fair
there's
enough.
that at least.
Fair enough.
Then, of course, there's regional effects. If the Anarch creates a lair somewhere that's not Limbo, these will affect that as well. But in Limbo, the Anarch can spend 10 minutes stabilizing a 5-mile area centered on it, causing the unformed substance to take whatever inanimate form the Anarch chooses. During that period, the Anarch determines the shape and composition of the forms created.
Okay.
And then it can stabilize any object created in Limbo and brought to the material plane for as long as the Anarch remains within a mile of it for no action. And if the Anarch dies, these effects end after 1d6 rounds.
Interesting.
It's a very strong creature. And I have its backup here
Okay.
if you want to run some minions along with it.
I'm trying to think of what would be, how much more powerful is that really in Limbo than out? I'm trying to balance that out, but if minions always help a good big boss.
Yeah. So these are the Bestiary Enlightened. These spend long hours in meditation to transcend the limits of their forms. They are CR 10, armor class 18 with psychic defense,
Okay.
118 hit points and 40 speed. They, of course, have psychic defense, as we said. They have multi-tech for 3 unarmed strikes, plus 8 to hit, reach 5 foot, single target, 2d8 plus 4 bludgeoning, plus 48 psychic.
Okay, that's not bad.
They're
That's a
hitting
good
pretty
little hit.
solid.
Yeah.
And then for spellcasting, they also use Wisdom and have a spell save DC of 16. They can cast Mage Hand at will with the hand being invisible. Thrice a day, they can see invisibility, and once a day, they can plane shift and teleport. They've got a recharge, which is really cool. Recharge on a 6, called Temporal Strike.
Okay.
It's a melee attack, plus 8 to hit, reach 5 foot, single target, 2d8 plus 4 bludgeoning, plus 8d12 psychic.
Oh, dang. Don't tick it off.
Right.
Don't make it angry.
The target must succeed on a DC 16 Wisdom saving throw or move 1 round forward in time. A target moved forward in time vanishes for the duration. When the effect ends, the target reappears in the space it left or in an unoccupied space nearest the space that it occupied.
Oh.
Which is super cool.
That's very cool.
And then finally, it has a reaction for slow fall. When it falls, it reduces any falling damage it takes by 50.
Well, that's so much psychic damage. Of course, it's
That's what they do.
Yeah.
They're Gith.
The psychic damage. A lot of psychic damage in this one.
When did it start raining? Well, now we have rain as well as thunder.
I don't know.
But, yeah, I think that these are really strong for things to roam as, like, minions. But theoretically, if you're fighting that CR16 creature at 20th level,
Yeah.
these are a good way to keep that balanced out.
Yeah. Yeah.
Are you ready to talk about everybody's favorite beast next?
Sure.
Let's talk some monstrosities with gnolls.
Okay.
I love gnolls.
Yeah, they don't get enough love. Not
they
as much as
don't.
goblins, but they're good.
Gnolls, for anybody who doesn't know, are hyenas that have been corrupted by magic and by the Lord, the demon lord Yinagyu, which is pretty cool. He's got a lot of cool stuff, and he's got a full stat block in other books. The first one is the Null Flesh Gnar. These don't use ranged weapons and instead just use blades with great speed and efficiency. Also, the idea of a thing called a Null Flesh Gnar is super cool.
Flesh Gnar.
Tsukiyomi, yeah, that is a Tsukiyomi when you get moved forward in time. It's very true. Armor class 14 on these gnolls. Hit points 22.
Okay.
Speed of 30, and the challenge rating is 1 for the Flesh Gnar. I do love gnolls, Dark. Of course, they have a dark vision of 60 feet, passive perception of 10, and they speak Null. They have multi-attack at CR1.
Okay.
1 bite attack and 2 short sword attacks.
That's pretty rough.
The bite is a +4 to hit, reach 5 foot, single target, 1d4 plus 2 piercing.
Okay.
The short sword is +4 to hit, reach 5 foot, single target, 1d6 plus 2 piercing. And then they can use a sudden rush until the end of their turn. The Null's speed increases by 60 feet, and it doesn't provoke opportunity attacks.
That's cool. That's a cool little ability. That's a nice little twist on the gnolls.
Yeah.
But that's pretty tough. They're putting out 20 points, up to 20 points of damage.
Yep. They
on
also
your-
have a bonus action called Rampage. After it reduces a creature's 0 hit points with a melee attack on a turn, it moves up to half its speed and makes a bite attack for free.
Oh, okay.
So, hey, they took somebody out. Rah!
That's rough. Haha.
I was about to go, I see what you did there, and then you laughed. Yeah, no, this is a cool Null. This is a nifty creature.
I think so. More use of gnolls. We need more use of gnolls.
Yes. Next up, we have the Null Hunter. These are the stealthy ones.
Okay.
And we have a little blurb from Mordenkainen. This says, the life cycle of Yinagyu's gnolls begins and ends with eating. They eat their enemies, they eat one another, and they're freed from their hunger only in death.
That's sweet.
This is a CR 1/2.
I'm going to put that on a Valentine card, by the way.
Armor class 13, hit points 22, speed 30. And it's really very similar. It has multi-attack where it can make 2 bite, spear, or longbow attacks. The bite is exactly the same as the previous bite. The spear is melee or ranged, +4 to hit, reach 5 foot, or range 20-60. Single target, 1d6 plus 2 piercing, or 1d8 plus 2 piercing if it's used with 2 hands.
Okay.
Then the longbow is +4 to hit, 150, 600 feet, 1d8 plus 2 piercing, and the target speed is reduced by 10 till the end of its next turn.
Okay. That's interesting.
Then it
Slows
still
it
has
down.
Rampage. So
Still has Rampage. I'm liking the way they're grouping these in these books.
me too.
They're giving you, yeah. What is that?
This is the Null Witherling.
Oh.
Sometimes Yinagyu's gnolls turn against each other. I know that might be hard to believe.
Ugh.
And when this happens, sometimes They devour the flesh of their slain comrades but preserve the bones. Then, by invoking special rituals to Yinagyu, they bring the remains back as a Null Witherling skeleton. It travels with their comrades and tries to kill anything in its path. They don't eat and aren't motivated by hunger, leaving more flesh for the rest of the warband.
Okay.
Lasagna's finally done. Nice. So this is a CR 1/4, CR quarter, because it's just a bunch of bones.
Yeah.
AC 12, hit points 11, speed 30, immune to poison and exhaustion. It understands Null, but it can't speak. Such a cool, weird creature.
Yeah.
It doesn't require air, food, drink, or sleep because of its unusual nature. It still has the bite attack from before, but now it does necrotic damage.
This should be this is one thing. One of the small things in 5e. This should be have resistance to piercing,
I agree.
but that's another thing. But they don't have that on there.
Right.
Right. Okay.
It also has a spike club. +4 to hit, reach 5 foot, single target, 1d4 +2 piercing. It still has Rampage, but now it has a reaction called Vengeful Strike. In response to a Null being reduced to 0 hit points within 30 feet of the Witherling makes 1 bite or spike club attack,
Okay.
which is pretty nice.
Yeah.
Hey, if it takes out a creature, it attacks again. If it sees one of its Nulls taken out, it attacks again.
Okay.
So, pretty solid.
Like this, just these 3 are building a really good like low level session.
Yeah. It does sound a little bit like some mushroom skeletons. Any Amaterasu like attacking D&D? There's Banishment, which isn't quite the same because it doesn't actually like do damage, but it does still get them out of the way for a very long time.
Yeah.
But
Technically, yeah, that's in a completely different random plane.
mm-hmm.
So,
Since it doesn't work, that's fair. We'll get it working before next week. Yeah, we only have a couple of G's left.
okay.
Next up, we have the Gray Render.
Okay.
This you may think Gray Render as in like the kind of rendering that you do with like a editing software. Not quite. It's rending as in it rends things apart with its claws.
Yeah.
A curious impulse drives the Gray Render. Despite its hulking form and terrible appetite, it wants most of all to bond with an intelligent creature, and once bonded, to give its life to protect that creature. Great strength and a ferocious nature make Gray Renders fierce guardians, but they lack a shred of cunning. They also reproduce by making nodules on their body that break off and then grow to become Gray Renders.
I know there's some player characters right now that have this.
Yeah.
They're running through their DM going, look, I am an intelligent creature. It wants to bond with me.
Yeah. That's right. It wants to be my friend. This is where things get really interesting, too. When a Gray Render encounters a suitable master, it sings to that creature and scratches the earth to show its deference. Okay. And then it will be tied to them forever. It can be a strong ally, but it's always unpredictable. It fights viciously and never willingly harms its master, but outside battle, it can cause some serious problems. It might follow its master despite being told to stay put, destroy its master's house, burrow holes through a ship's hull, attack out of jealousy for other creatures getting too close to its master. There's a quirk table here, which I love when they do.
Okay.
Number 1 is hates horses and other mounts. Number 2 is roars loudly when its bonded creature is touched by another creature. Number 3 is likes to snuggle. And I should clarify, when I say creature, it does not have to bond to a humanoid. It can bond to another monster.
Yeah.
Number 3 likes to snuggle. Number 4 uproots and chews on trees. Number 5 has terrific and eye-watering flatulence. Number 6 brings offerings of meat to its bonded creature. Number 7 compulsively digs up the ground. Number 8 attacks carts and wagons as if they were terrible monsters. Number 9 howls when it rains. Number 10 whines piteously in the dark. Number 11 buries all treasure that it believes it found. And number 12 chases birds, leaping into the air to catch them, heedless of the destruction it causes. So these things are CR 12.
That's pretty big.
AC of 19. hit points of 189, speed of 30 feet. They have a dark vision of 60 and a passive perception of 12, but otherwise their wisdom stat is a 6 and their intelligence is a 3.
Ooh.
They have a -4 in intelligence. They have multi-attack, though, so they make 1 bite attack, 2 claw attacks. +8 to hit on the bite, reach 5 foot, single target. 2d12 +4 piercing.
That's pretty nice snap.
And if the target's medium or smaller, it must succeed on a DC 16 strength save or be knocked prone.
Okay.
Then the claw is +8 to hit, reach 10 foot, single target. 2d8 +4 slashing, +3d6 bludgeoning if it's already knocked prone.
Okay.
That's how it ties in, right? And then it has a reaction called Bloody Rampage. When the Grey Render takes damage, it makes 1 claw attack against a random creature within its reach other than its master.
Wow.
Against a random creature. So you better not be standing next to it while its master is next to you.
Yeah. This is a really interesting pet. This is a good pet. It's kind of nice to have something for that range.
Yeah, I agree.
Then we put it to make, I actually have to work at it.
Yeah, it's a cool pet, but you have to be careful with it.
Yeah.
Next up, we have the Grotzt.
Okay.
And the Grotzt are, what's a VOD? It's a video on demand. The Grotzt is a creature that is a fiend.
Okay.
It's a demon lord. Every plane and curve of its 9-foot tall body, every glance of its burning eyes, promised a mixture of pleasure and pain. It can transform itself as will, appearing to any humanoid form that pleases him or his onlookers, all equally tempting in their own ways. In every form, though, there's a subtle wrongness about his beauty, from the cruel cast of his features to the 6 fingers on each hand and 6 toes on each foot. They attract themselves with the finest of things and always go for indulgence. But if angered, they are capable of terrible violence. CR 24.
Yeah.
Armor class is 20. Hit points is 346. And speed is 40. It has a +15 to deception, a +12 to insight, a +12 to perception, and a +15 to persuasion. Resistant to cold, fire, and lightning. Immune to poison, bludgeoning, piercing, and slashing that's non-magical. Can't be charmed, exhausted, frightened, or poisoned. True sight to 120 feet with passive perception 22, and speaks all languages with telepathy of 120 feet. Sounds like they belong in Yulmore. Legendary resistances, of course. And magic resistant, advantage on saving throws against spells and other magical effects.
Okay.
Multi-attack. 2 Wave of Sorrow attacks. And can replace one of those with spellcasting. Wave of Sorrow is a melee weapon attack, +13 to hit, reach 10 foot, single target, 4d6 plus 6 force damage, plus 4d6 acid damage.
Ooh. Not bad. A little bit in there.
Yeah, it's not a lot of damage, but, it matters. And then spellcasting, the Charisma spellcasting mob, which it has a +8 in, just throwing that out there. Then its spell save DC is 23. At will, it can cast Charm Person, Detect Magic, and Dispel Magic. 3 times a day each, it can cast Darkness, Dominate Person, Telekinesis, and Teleport. And once a day each, Dominate Monster and Greater Invisibility. Then it can teleport.
Yeah.
120 feet. As a bonus action, it can change shape down to a medium humanoid. As a reaction, it can negate spell, recharging on a 5 or 6. It tries to interrupt a spell he sees a creature casting within 60 feet of him. If the spell's 3rd level or lower, it fails, has no effect. 4th level or higher, it makes a charisma check against a DC of 10 plus the spell's level. And on a success, the spell fails and has no effect.
Golly.
And then as legendary actions, it can use Abyssal Magic to use spellcasting or teleport. It can just make another attack with Wave of Sorrow. Or it can use Dance My Puppet. One creature charmed by Graz'zt that Graz'zt can see must use its reaction to move up to its speed as Graz'zt directs.
That's fun.
Yeah, it's a strong creature, and it still has lair actions to go. But to face point, you may look at that and go, that's unbeatable. That's a really dang good fight. This thing will go down.
Yeah, the thing will go down. Also, it kind of put it they finally have it within the abyss and the demons and devils and stuff. This is probably the closest one to actually what like Lucifer would be in in that.
Absolutely.
On that. It's a really cool monster.
It also, for as strong as it seems, it doesn't do necrotic damage. So all the damage it's putting out can be healed. And it's not really doing that much damage a turn.
Yeah.
It's got a high AC, it's got a lot of HP, but personal damage is not that high.
What's going to be hard, it's going to be on the DM because some of these monsters, not just this one, there's the other ones too, there needs to be a cunning aspect to it that it's going to put itself in the best position
Right.
to use what it has.
And that's where the lair actions come in, I think.
Okay.
Because you get, we do have a blurb from Tasha I'm going to come back to after we read these.
Okay.
But command, it just casts command spell on every creature of his choice within the lair. He needn't see each one, does not have to see them.
Just as long as they're in there.
But he must be aware that they're there.
Okay.
He issues the same command to all the targets. Conjure mirrors. Smooth surfaces within the lair become as reflective as a polished mirror until a different lair actions used. Creature within the lair have disadvantage on stealth checks made to hide.
Nice.
Then the regional effects are within 6 miles of the lair. Wild beasts become agitated and will fight or breed, mirroring the behavior that occurs during their mating seasons. And within 6 miles of the lair, all insight checks have disadvantage, and all deception and persuasion checks have advantage. And all flat surfaces within a mile of the lair are made of stone or metal become mirrors.
Dang. Okay.
Which is really interesting.
That would be, yeah.
Tasha's quote here is, Grotzt proved to be a plentiful source of magical energy. He seems to think there's something more between us. He'll eventually figure out the truth.
Ooh.
And then, as they have done for all the other demon lords, the cultists of Grotzt get 2 abilities. Joy from pain. Whenever the creature suffers a critical hit, it can make 1 melee attack as a reaction.
Okay.
And Master of Pleasures. As a reaction, when this creature takes damage, it can magically grant 5 temporary hit points to itself and up to 3 allies within 30 feet of it. It's pretty solid.
It is.
Especially if you have like 4 of these that are all in a row and all got just hit by a fireball. That's 20 HP each. Next up, we have our second to last G. We have 2 Gs left.
Okay.
Grungs.
Okay.
You like frogs? I like frogs.
You'll like these frogs.
They're found in rainforest tropical jungles. They prefer shade and live in trees, but they maintain hatcheries, which of course have to be in the water, in pools. So, sometimes they have to come out of the shade. About 3 months after hatching, a grung tadpole takes on the shape of an adult. And another 6 months, it's reached maturity. They can be in all kinds of different colors. And there's a variant rule here for grung poison.
Yeah,
Which is a creature poisoned by a grung can suffer an additional effect that depends on the grung's color. A blue grung, the poisoned creature must make a loud noise at the start and end of its turns. The gold grung, it's charmed by the grung and can speak grung.
Oh, okay.
That's a cool effect.
That is.
The green one, the poison creature can't move except to climb or make standing jumps. If the creature's flying, it can't take any actions or reactions unless it lands.
Okay.
The orange grung, the poison creature, is frightened of its allies. For the purple grung, the poison creature feels a desperate need to soak itself in liquid or mud. It can't take actions or move except to do so or to reach a body of liquid or mud. And for the red grung, the poison creature must use its action to eat if food is within its reach.
Those are really, really good.
I love those. I especially love making a loud noise at the start and end of the turn.
And these are tropical rainforest, your rainforest frogs, all the colors, the patterns, and everything.
Yep,
they come off those.
I've got 3 stat sheets for you here for grungs.
Okay.
The first one is CR 1/4, armor class 12, hit points 11, 25-foot walk, 25-foot climb. They're immune to poison, of course, because they poison other things.
Yeah.
They're amphibious. They can breathe air and water. They have poisonous skin. Any creature that grapples the grung or otherwise comes into direct contact with the grung skin must succeed on a DC 12 con save or become poisoned for a minute. Poison creature no longer in direct contact with the grung can repeat the saving throw at the end of each of its turns, ending the effect on success, but it can still be poisoned again. Grungs have a standing leap. The long jump is up to 25 feet, and its high jump is up to 15 feet, with or without a running start. And they have water dependency, which I really like. If the grung isn't immersed in water for at least 1 hour during a day, it suffers 1 level of exhaustion at the end of that day. The grung can recover from this exhaustion only through magic or by immersing itself in water for at least an hour.
Okay. I want to set up a big battle between these and the Wanti.
Yeah, that'd be
Yeah.
really cool.
Choose your side. Frog or snake?
Frogs.
Yeah.
They also have a dagger for their attack. Melee or ranged. +4 to hit, reach 5 foot. Range 20-60, single target. 1d4 plus 2 piercing, plus 2d4 poison. Pretty solid for
Yeah.
CR 4th.
Yeah. Put a little poison damage there. Right here on the low end.
There
Good
we
for
go.
that.
The Elite Warrior is a CR2.
Okay.
This is, of course, their Elite Warrior. That means in the name. 13 AC, 49 HP, 25.
Okay.
Again, still immune to poison. Still amphibious, still has poisonous skin. Still has the standing leap, still has the water dependency. Still has the dagger. Damage has not changed. But it has a short bow for a ranged weapon attack, +5 to hit, range 83-20. Single target, 1d6 plus 3 piercing, plus 2d4 poison.
Okay.
And then on a recharge, it has mesmerizing churr.
Oh.
The grung makes a churring noise to which grungs are immune. Each humanoid or beast that's within 15 feet of the grung and able to hear it must succeed on a DC 12 wisdom save or be stunned until the end of the grung's next turn.
Everybody loves Hypnotoad.
Yep.
It makes it.
It's pretty cool.
All right.
And then finally, we have a Grunge Druid, the Grung Wildling.
Okay.
This is a CR1, AC 16, hit points 27, speed 25. Still has amphibious, poisonous skin, standing leap, water dependency. Still has the dagger. Still has the short bow. Damage hasn't changed on either one of those. But now it has spellcasting. Wisdom's the mod. Spell save 12 for the DC. At will, it can cast Druidcraft.
Okay.
3 times a day each, it can use Cure Wounds and Spike Growth. And twice a day each, it can use Plant Growth.
That's nice.
It's very solid.
Oh, some nice little allied characters. I mean, yes, they could be. You can go up against them, but I really like them as a community, helping the group out.
Yeah, just some frogs here to help out.
Yeah.
You know, run them with some bullywogs to really confuse people.
Yeah. There you go.
And then finally, we have one of my personal favorites from previous editions. It's finally back. Has a stat block. It's a Guard Drake.
Nice.
These things are not super crazy damage-wise, right? But Guard Drakes are just a really cool idea to me. They're used in a lot of fantasy.
Yeah.
And were in, I know, 3rd edition. I don't remember if they were in 2nd.
I don't remember.
But they kind of have just been left out when it comes to bringing them to 5e. Or I guess now 1 D&D.
Get it right.
They're basically just bigger drakes, except smaller, and they guard houses and kingdoms and treasure.
Yeah.
Whatever you train them to guard. There are some new variants as well called Chromatic Guard Drakes.
Fair
so
enough.
you have like a black Guard Drake that can breathe air and water, has a swing speed of 30 feet, and has resistance to acid. A blue Guard Drake that has a burrowing speed of 20 feet and resistance to lightning. A green Guard Drake that can breathe air and water, swing speed of 30 feet, and resistant to poison. A red Guard Drake that has a climbing speed of 30 and is resistant to fire. And a white Guard Drake that has a burrowing speed of 20, a climbing speed of 30, and resistance to cold. The Guard Drakes themselves are CR2. They understand Draconic but can't speak it. AC 14, hit points 52, speed 30. 52 is a lot for CR2, but they can't really do much. They're just there to guard something. They have multi-attack, so they can make 1 bite and 1 tail attack. The bite is a +5 to hit, reach 5 foot, single target, 1d8 plus 3 piercing. And the tail is +5 to hit, reach 5 foot, single target, 1d6 plus 3 bludgeoning.
Okay.
And that's it. It's just a simple little stat block for.
Well, it's a I don't know. I like it because it's just, hey, here's use this for flavor.
Yeah.
And if it comes to it, here's a stat block you'll need
Yeah, in case you need it.
in case you need it.
And then next week, we'll be getting to the H's. We have 6 of those.
All right.
And then after that, that's not the right mouse. After that, we'll get into the J's, which we have 1 of, and the K's, which we have 7 of.
Okay.
So we'll probably be able to cover at least, I would say, through to the K next week.
Okay.
Because we covered 10 more today.
Yeah.
So, plus the sub-variants.
Right.
But out of those, I'll ask like I always do, which one was your favorite?
I think the Githyanki, just because of the story that comes with them.
Yeah,
The Githyanki and
Githyanki
the
are very
Gith'rak. Both of them really, because they go together.
Yeah,
in my mind.
I agree.
I'll say that. But there's got some. I don't know.
I like that gray render a lot.
Yeah, that's fun. And the drakes and things are really cool. But
And the
I think it's-
Geralin.
yeah,
Hey, you got some good pets this week between the Giant Strider, the gray render,
yeah,
and the Geralin.
yeah. And not only that, there's
Froggies, that's fair.
it's a big range of monsters just there in the G's.
Yeah, it is.
You know, we got all the way up. Our highest CR was 24,
Mhm.
23, 24,
Yeah,
and
for Graz'zt.
and the lowest one was half.
Yeah,
I think so. That's a wide range just in the G's there.
I agree. Lots of good selections. Yep, painting tomorrow. We were going to be painting Thousand Sun Rubric Marines, but they just dropped a brand new kill team, like the rules for a brand new kill team called the Intercessor Kill Team. So I'm going to be painting some regular Intercessors to go with my Assault Intercessors in my custom Blood Angel Successor chapter tomorrow. So please look forward to that for Full Spectrum Paints. Monday, we'll be back with Info Monday.
Yes.
Tuesday, we'll be back with the regular podcast. And next Thursday, we'll be getting into some more stuff. So
Yeah, and we'll dig into the Unearthed Arcana. And
one
seriously,
day.
go check it out. Go to D&D Beyond. Get the free stuff on there if you haven't.
For sure.
And just check it out. And comment. Let us know what you think of some of the stuff in there if you get a chance to look over it.
Well, what do you think? I show we've been going for an hour. So with all that said, then I've been Trey.
I've been Rungren.
We've been the Full Spectrum D&D podcast. Remember to always enjoy the full spectrum, the D&D,